Okay, so why'd the rocker boy's output kick him out of the apartment? Because he wasn't chipping in.
Jesus Christ.
Cyberpunk 2077. I bought this game back in 2022 after I saw Edgerunners and bawled my eyes out. So fortunately, I missed the incredibly buggy launch and early life of this game. But as many realized after watching the anime and trying out the game again, or like me, picking it up for the first time, this is actually a masterpiece. And while yes, we're gonna talk about audio and the sound that makes up this world, I first want to mention that my favorite part of this game is the writing, the characters, the story, the connection. Sound adds to that a lot. As a storytelling device, it is there to build up those characters and make them feel alive. But I fully want to attribute the reason for why I like this game so much and have like 400 hours on it to the beautifully written characters and the gut-wrenching story that follows V, the main character. That being said, hello chooms, welcome to another episode of Behind the Sound, where today we dive into the streets of Night City, the city of dreams. A place where sound design plays an important role, and every sound in Night City tells a story. Ask yourself, who do you think is the main antagonist of Cyberpunk 2077? Smasher? Arasaka? Corpos in general? To me, it's Night City. It acts as another character, an entity, an extremely complex one at that, with many layers. To say it's a challenge to accurately represent each unique section of this large city, it's simply an understatement. Night City is meant to feel oppressive and cold in its design. It's a fine line the sound designers must follow, as if they cross it, the city just might sound too oppressive and turn people away. They need to convey that it's you against this city. Constant battle for survival, not just in the sense of dodging bullets, but like rent being due. Alright, too real. The harsh healthcare system, also too real. Alright, the ads and everything else which contribute to this oppressive feeling of the city. The sound designers wanted to make every part of the city feel sonically distinct. So sound effects like crowds, machinery, ads, and pretty much anything you can hear in the city was adjusted for each region to make it feel different from the last. But overall, the city has this gritty and cold feel throughout. The only differing region on the map from the city audio-wise would be the Badlands, and even that can be divided into a few regions which also have different feels to them, such as the landfill, the oil fields, and the desert portion. These areas almost feel deathly quiet compared to the city's frantic ambience. The Badlands are filled with many more real-world sounds from the city, making it feel more natural. After all, it's just dirt and sand, so it makes sense. Night City's alive, a character like any other, just larger.
Okay, so what do you need besides a miracle?
Guns. Lots of guns.
There are many guns in this game, and the audio team needed to make each one tell a slightly different story. There especially needed to be a difference between the main categories of tech, smart, and power weapons. Power weapons being your basic guns don't have many unique qualities. Smart weapons though, while basically having a built-in aimbot, the bullets deal much less damage and hence sound much weaker than your standard power SMG or pistol. And tech weapons, while being similar to the power category, have the unique aspect of being able to hold down and charge the weapon, releasing a much more powerful blast after a few seconds, even piercing some walls. That extra oomph is felt with a meaty sound showcasing the power of these tech weapons. Digging even further, we can see that CD Projekt Red gave many of their guns manufacture dates. Hey, PostPath here. Wanted to correct myself here regarding the manufacture dates. Now I think I confused cars and guns here because some cars have manufacture dates, but guns do not. So that's my mistake, moving on. And that information is quite important to us sound designers, as it gives us a way to represent these firearms a lot more accurately. A sleek and expensive Arasaka weapon will have a much more modern and quality sound compared to a budget-armed shotgun feeling as if it's gonna fall apart in your hand with each consecutive shot. In Cyberpunk, having chrome is as common as wearing a shirt. It's not just about being practical or useful, it's a fashion sense in Night City. Audio-wise, the sound designers didn't want to make the Cyberwere feel too futuristic, but rather feel grounded and mechanical. Interesting fact about Cyberware sound design is that they changed the double jump sound effect in the 2.0 update. Not sure exactly why, but to me now it sounds less muddy, more sharp and responsive. It cuts through the mix much better. Here's the pre-2.0 jump sound effect. And here's the current one. There's a perk in the tech skill tree that has a small chance to trigger a frenzy state that rises with more cyberware you have over the limit. I love this perk. It makes you feel as if you're going cyber psycho from too much chrome, and the laughing that ensues is just perfect audio work. The sound of the monowire was created using a cello string being run across the sound designer's nails. And I wanted to sound Redesign. Now, I don't have a cello, but I do have a guitar. So let's try and recreate a monowire from Cyberpunk using strings from this. The goal of the redesign is to use the string to make every part of the monowire. So even the little bleeps and blops you hear were achieved by stretching, pitch shifting, and using a few plugins to process the string. But every sound that comes from the monowire is coming from the string, which achieves an effect of groundness. That's not a word. It grounds the sound in some sense of reality. When working on such a big project sonically, you have a few duties. And arguably, one of the most important ones is to relay necessary information to the player, be it the direction of the enemy via voice lines, or the feedback you get when you fire a weapon, or similar. Now, some things get priority on the audio spectrum when it comes to the game. When you're shooting your weapon, it will drown out enemy fire. And when voiceover happens, it will lower pretty much everything else so it can be heard, because it's the most important, usually. We humans hear from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. The entire audible spectrum is there. And when sound designing anything, be it a song, or a movie, or a game, you need to be wary of that spectrum. Typically, and this is grossly simplifying it, in a song, you want to distribute the entire mix so something fills the lows, something fills the highs, and then the mids, etc. Well, same goes for games. If many things are situated in the lower spectrum, it will be very muddy. And if there's many high elements, it will soon become piercing for our ears. So, by ducking certain parts, like music or crowd noises, you allow more important elements to cut through the mix and be present, like voiceover. By now, everyone's familiar with the crazy life cycle of this game. Crucified on launch, and after 2 years of patches, one insanely good anime later, it rose from the dead and it's now pretty alright. During that time, there were quite a few audio bugs too. There's even complaints on audio glitches and bugs as near as a year ago now. I started playing Cyberpunk after Edgerunners released in 2022, and didn't experience many audio bugs, or any glitches for that matter. It was pretty nice. There was this one bug though, that I got, and it was super annoying. I went into a gig and the sneaky evil music started playing as normal. I finished the gig and went about my business, but the sneaky evil music just wouldn't go away. And it was super annoying. It was this sound over and over and over again, like, it drove me nuts. I restarted the game, but nothing happened. I just dealt with it, and after a while, it just went away. But that's pretty much my experience with glitches in this game. Everybody has a different story, it seems. That being said, the game has come a long way, and the audio works quite well nowadays. Cyberpunk 2077 is an emotional roller coaster, from making friends to losing them, from dying to becoming a legend. Every piece of media I see from this world, this city, ends up in a gut-wrenching way. It's brutally honest with the world it's set in. Guess I imagined a happier ending for some good souls. But for folks like us, wrong city, wrong people. Cyberpunk isn't about saving the world. It's about saving yourself. Please do tell me what you think of this episode of BS. Suggest more games you want me to analyze, and subscribe for more.